Hi and welcome to Dreads UK. In this video we're going to be talking about the top 5 concerns that you'll have if you're considering getting dreadlocks. Concern number 5. Jobs and dreadlocks. Now, one of the biggest concerns that people have when they're thinking of getting dreadlocks is if they're going to be able to get a job. Perhaps you've got an interview coming up, or maybe you're already employed and you're wondering what your employer might think of dreadlocks. Can you get a job? The easy answer is yes. However, you may experience discrimination in certain areas depending on what job you're going for. That being said, there's also exceptions. We've interviewed people in different kinds of roles that have dreadlocks, from lawyer to chef, and they say it's been fine. I'll put a link in the description below to those interviews. The kind of things that you might face though are the kind of jobs that you're going to go for. So, for example, if you're a musician, an artist, a graphic designer, or if you're self-employed, particularly in the creative arts, or maybe a labourer, if you're in that position, then generally speaking, dreadlocks aren't really going to make much of an issue. However, if you're going for a job where it requires you to be particularly clean cut, then you may face certain discriminations. That being said, you'll have more of a chance if you've got that clean cut dreadlock as opposed to neglect. So method plays a huge part as well. Now, there's a couple of options you can take to approach this. One option is you can go directly to the employer and just ask them outright. Another option is you could just try it. Sometimes an apology is better than asking for permission. However, it's a bit of a gamble. Again, this is another example where synthetic braid-in dreadlocks might be a better option. You can always try it out, take them in, see how your employer responds. If it's particularly bad, you can just take them out. There's no real commitment. But if you've got natural dreadlocks, you've gone for the full commitment and you go into your employer, chances are they'll either make you cut them off or you might leave. It might be worth giving some consideration to how you might approach it before getting dreadlocks. How much? Concern number 4. What's it going to cost? So, as we've spoken before, if you're making dreadlocks from home, you can get dreadlocks for virtually nothing. Just get a few friends round, they'll come around your house, show them a couple of tutorial videos, and boom, you've got dreadlocks. On the other hand, you can go in full out and spend £400, £500, £600 getting all the extensions done, whether particularly human hair is quite expensive, all kinds of customizations, the full pamper in the salon. You can spend that much. Is it worth it? That's the question. Where's the value? Now, we've got an online calculator that can help you navigate through the exact costs of those, but for now we're just going to give you a summary. Ultimately, you'll have 2 questions. One is whether you do it in a home or a salon, which we've covered, and 2 is whether you're going to have extensions or not have extensions, and which ones you're going to go for. So in summary, you've got a spectrum. On the one end, you've got super cheap, which are perfect for about a day, whereas the quality won't be that great. You've got super expensive, which will come with all the decorations and things like this, so you're paying essentially for someone's time to decorate them. And then you've got a mid-range, which will offer the same thing as the super expensive, but you can save money by decorating them yourself. Just make sure that you get the right colour for you. Concern number 3, salon or home. So the 2 options really are you do it from home or you do it in a salon. They're obviously going to vary in result. So if you're on a budget and you can't afford those salon prices, don't worry, because you can still achieve a great look doing it from home. We've got all kinds of videos and tutorials to help you do that, but for now we're just going to give an overview summary. Now, there's untold videos out there of tutorials giving infinite wisdom of what you should do, what you shouldn't do. Some are good, some not so great and could lead you down a dark path. But don't worry, we've got tons of videos to guide you and help you get the best look if you're doing it from home and if you're on a budget. However, if you can afford the rates of a salon, you're going to have certain benefits and certain things that are going to save you time and money and effort and energy in the long run. Now, if you're paying for a salon, you can expect certain types of things that you wouldn't get from making them at home. For example, if someone's doing it day in, day out, and this is their job, they'll have a lot of experience of years and years and years of doing the same thing over and over again. This means that they're going to cultivate their style and they're going to have a certain level of excellence that you just won't be able to get from home. Some of these things might include trial and error, so things that they've got wrong or done wrong and they've found solutions and ways around it. Another thing may be longevity of dreadlocks, so there's certain things or certain methods or types of techniques that they've used in cultivating their style that in the future time, when people have come back in maybe a few years, has created problems, and so they've learnt to resolve those as well. They'll also generally be quite knowledgeable in the science behind it, on the science behind hair, how it works, how it moves, different scalp conditions. You'll also hopefully be in a good salon that won't have any cross-contamination. And also, if you're trying to get the perfect uniform look, you're more likely to get it in a salon of professionals that have done this day in and day out. You can find qualified professionals that work from home. Some of them will also come out and visit you at your home. Now, the quality of these vary a lot, and the trouble is, how do you know which ones are good and which ones are bad? Generally, if you can find reviews online, that's a great way and a great place to start. However, if you get a bad one, they can wreck your hair, and there's nothing you can do to make them fix it. I cannot tell you how many times over the years we've worked with professional stylists, whether at our salon or our festival stall, and every single one has told us stories of people that have come in, have had their hair wrecked, and they've paid hundreds to try and fix it and maintain it and correct it. So on the one hand, if you're looking for the best deal out there, the best deal may not get you the result you're looking for. Yes, it may save you money in the short term, but in the long term can cost you hundreds to correct. If you're going for natural dreadlocks, they're going to be with you a long time. It's worth getting it right. Concern number 2, washing and drying. Now, one of the big things with dreadlocks is, do you even wash them? Public knowledge, when you ask the ordinary person on the street, generally think that you don't wash dreadlocks. But let me tell you, clean dreads are happy dreads. There are 2 main cleaning options. 1 is a shampoo and 2 is a deep cleanse. The shampoo is something that you can do regularly, and the deep cleanse is something you do quarterly, so 3, maybe 4 times a year. The shampoo will keep your hair smelling great, feeling fresh, and the deep cleanse will take all the weight out of it from any build-up that happens, which is essentially bicarbonate of soda and apple cider vinegar, so acid and alkaline, balanced out to the hair's pH value, which cleans the hair from the inside out. Whether that's because it hasn't been rinsed properly or from any products or things that have been left in there, a deep cleanse will clean all that out. Now, the big concern that people have when they've had dreadlocks for quite some time is how they dry their hair. Now, if you're getting natural dreadlocks or synthetic dreadlocks that are fixed in permanently, then drying them will take a lot longer. This is because the water is collected up inside the dreadlock and it's more difficult for it to get out. If you're not in an area with a lot of sun, then they're going to take quite a while to dry. However, if you have synthetic dreadlocks that are braided in, you have much more options of washing and drying them. It's a lot easier to clean your scalp. This is one huge benefit. You can take your synthetic dreadlocks, soak them in a deep cleanse, put them out to dry, however you want to dry them, and you're not carrying all that weight. However, with dreadlock technologies, things are still moving forward. And as time advances, we're finding more and more ways to dry natural dreadlocks a lot quicker. Concern number 1. Commitments. Now, obviously getting dreadlocks, it's a huge commitment. Now, there's a lot of reasons why someone might get dreadlocks, and generally speaking, if we're thinking of dreadlocks, we think of natural dreadlocks that are made from someone's own hair. The options that we think are available are quite limited, when actually the truth is there's so many options, and there's options that we can go for that aren't as committed as other options. One example being with natural dreadlocks. For some people getting dreadlocks, their motivation and interest is the natural expression of dreadlocks. And if that's the case, then it's more about lifestyle than a hairstyle. In some cases, it may even be anti-hairstyle, almost a sort of political statement. This was certainly the case for me when I first got dreadlocks, and as time's gone on, that has changed. If you're more loosely associated with that side of things and you tend to want to change up your style, you like new looks, you want to try different things, explore new avenues, then it's more of a hairstyle leaning as opposed to an internal conviction. And this is personally where I'd align myself these days, having been through the processes. One day you can have dreadlocks and the next day you can have regular hair, and the colour variations are endless. We've got a huge catalogue of colours available. If it's hairstyle over lifestyle, then I would say synthetic extensions are certainly the way forward. So if you're still unsure, this is a great option to just try it out and give it a go. You don't have to fully commit, and you'll see what they will look like. I hope this video has been helpful. If you've got any questions, leave a comment below. We've got all the links in the descriptions that you need and ways to stay in touch. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and set that notification button to on. This will help you stay in touch and keep up to date with all the advances and all the developments we have in the dreadlock technologies. Roughneck.